With the release of Steven Spielberg's The Fabelmans, a semi-autobiographical film about his beginnings as a filmmaker, I thought it'd be a great time to look back on his little-discussed theatrical film debut. Before Indiana, before Jurassic Park, before Private Ryan, before E.T., and just before Jaws, came The Sugarland Express. A Bonnie and Clyde-esque tale of a young couple getting caught up with all of the Texas law enforcement. This video will have mild spoilers, so if you just want to know whether the film is worth watching today, I'd say it is. I had fairly low expectations going into the film, and I got about what I expected. A highly competent debut that gave Universal enough trust to let a 28-year-old with big ideas make another film with triple the budget, a little movie you may have heard of called Jaws. The thing that surprised me most about the film was how funny it was.
You just stay put.
I was chuckling consistently throughout, sometimes cracking up. With that said, aside from the humor, I wouldn't call the script a particular high point. The two credited writers didn't really do much else of particular note, being the only two members of the Dirty Dozen filmmaking group, without any notable credit mentions in the group's Wikipedia page. It's a more than serviceable script, but it had some noticeable issues to me. One of my biggest issues with the film is its lead characters. They're unfortunately painfully one-dimensional. The lead duo are just loud, dumb, white trash types without a ton of depth.
What you been doing 3 weeks? You been running around?
I have not.
You're lying.
I am not lying.
Don't lie to me.
Don't you call me no liar. Donnie Hart and Bill Phelps ain't running around. That's just beering.
And the cop they kidnap doesn't have a lot going on either. His arc is that he, just sort of starts liking them at the end.
What's that?
No, give me that. That's mine.
What's that? Is that you? Is that you?
Yeah.
Ah! Looks just like him.
But I don't feel like it was particularly motivated by much, especially given the way the script was ordered. For example, they go from shooting and cursing at him as he tries to escape, and then in their next scene together, they're all chummy. There's a progression, I guess, but again, it's not really motivated by anything. I think if the characters were even just the slightest more compelling, and their interactions more cohesive, I think this movie would be talked about a lot more. That's not to say they're not performed well, and they have some really fun moments and quirks about them, but I was definitely left wanting more dramatically. As Ebert put it in his 2.5-star review, if the movie finally doesn't succeed, that's because Spielberg has paid too much attention to all those police cars and all the crashes they get into, and not enough to the personalities of his characters. We get to know these three people just enough to want to know them better. This points to a somewhat broader issue I had with the film. I didn't read any sort of thematic depth. It's mostly just a series of events happening. There are a number of places I think you could have taken it, like how poverty causes people to be dumb or make dumb decisions, or how systemic socioeconomic failures can cause families to be broken and people to get hurt. But there's none of that in the film, which is unfortunate because I think it had the opportunity to say some interesting things about American society at the time, a message that would resonate and hold up even today, but it's just not there. The closest thing I could find is perhaps a very slight criticism of American police, but even then there's very little teeth to it. I'm not sure if that's even what they were going for. One of the funniest elements of the film is that the further their journey goes along, the convoy of police officers chasing them grows as well, eventually consisting of literally hundreds of police cars. They show two cops from Louisiana get their brand new cruisers, and they decide to inexplicably drive 3 hours out just to join this convoy.
What say we just poke on up there? Yeah, that's over 3 hours away. Just about the break-in period.
The film could have taken the opportunity to explore how bloated and inefficient the police are in America, but I didn't really read it that way. It presents the cop convoy growing as just a comedy bit, with no real message regarding how unthinkably inefficient such an exercise would be.
Who else is out there, Ernie?
Lord only knows, Captain.
Well, call them all in. Where the hell they all come?
Yes, sir. In fact, the whole state of Texas is on APB alert.
The whole state of Texas is here.
84, 85, 185, 86, 88, 89, 90, 94, 195, 104, 205, 106, 107.
I mean, the true story didn't have 200 plus cop cars, but the convoy did reach over 100 in real life. Over 100 cop cars to follow one car in a slow speed chase. I mean, really? The social commentary practically writes itself, but I guess they either didn't think about it or just didn't want to touch it in their PG dramedy.
What's in the road?
I also enjoyed how the community got more and more involved, with some people actually sympathizing with the couple.
It's your baby. Don't let no one take him away from you.
Here's my wallet with money. God bless you. What's it for my baby? Yes, it's for my baby.
I kind of wish they could have explored that more too. The script also granted itself a number of kinda obvious and annoying contrivances. The way they initially escape the police, while humorous, ultimately has little meaning to the story, and the way the nutjobs just find them by happenstance stand out to me.
Dad, they're in Big John's.
The pacing in the second act sags just a tad as well. The most unrealistic thing is that the female lead only served 15 months out of a 5-year prison term. They commit so many crimes and she's out in just over a year?
So far, it's grand theft auto, speeding, driving to endanger, resisting arrest, threatening an officer, hindering an officer in the performance of his duty, illegal possession of firearms, and assault. But if I get in that car, you got kidnapping. That's fast.
They'll throw a black teenager in jail for life over the gram of weed I can buy at a store 5 minutes from my house. Meanwhile, they commit every crime ever, and she's out in no time at all. So yeah, a little unrealistic, but huh? What's that? Oh, the real-life equivalent to her character only served 5 months out of a 5-year sentence? That's crazy? The copy of The Wizard of Oz in the backseat of their car is a perfect representation of what this is. A fun, somewhat fantastical little journey from start to finish that had my eyes glued to the screen. All in all, I really enjoyed watching this film, and I'm bummed that more people haven't given it a shot. With that said, outside of it being generally competently made, you're not going to get a lot of Spielberg hallmarks, and I was left wanting more from its characters and themes. I think the film generally does hold up today, and I think it's worth checking out on a rainy day, not just because it's Spielberg's theatrical debut, but because despite its issues here and there, it's genuinely engaging, which is about the best praise I can give a movie. What are your thoughts on the Sugarland Express? Let me know in the comments, and be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.
Hey, officer, you know it's illegal to make a turn right in the middle of the highway? You violated the law.